It is 6 a.m. You step onto the digital scale and let out a heavy sigh. Standing in front of the mirror, you pinch that layer of fat around your waist and make a familiar promise. Today, I will only eat salad and do 200 crunches. Stop right there. Do you think that soft, pinchable fat is the worst part? It is not. The real enemy is hiding deep inside, wrapping suffocatingly around your liver, your intestines, and your pancreas. It is called visceral fat. This is a silent killer. It does not just ruin your physique. It acts as a toxic living organ, constantly pumping inflammatory chemicals straight into your bloodstream. Do you really believe that obsessively counting calories or running on a treadmill until you drop will burn this off? The harsh truth is that visceral fat cannot be starved away. It can only be defeated by changing your hormonal signals. Today, we are not going to talk about eating less. Instead, I will reveal the hidden biological mechanism behind visceral fat and give you exactly 5 foods that act as biological keys. These foods send direct commands to your cells, forcing your body to finally unlock and release that stubborn weight. Before we get to those 5 specific foods, we have to understand the root of the problem. Why is it that 2 people can both eat exactly 1,500 calories, yet one person drops fat effortlessly, while your waistline refuses to budge? The answer does not lie in the calories themselves. It lies in 2 powerful hormones, insulin and cortisol. Think about your daily life. When you are chronically stressed, your body goes into survival mode, releasing a flood of cortisol. This stress hormone sends a direct panic signal to your liver, commanding it to dump extra sugar straight into your bloodstream. To handle this sudden sugar spike, your pancreas frantically pumps out insulin. Here is the critical part. Insulin is the ultimate gatekeeper of your fat cells. Whenever insulin is high, the doors to your fat storage are bolted shut. With cortisol and insulin peaking at the same time, your body absolutely refuses to burn fat, no matter how exhausting your workouts are. It gets worse. A 2021 report from the American Heart Association revealed a terrifying fact. That excess visceral fat we talked about earlier actually produces its own inflammatory cytokines. These chemicals make your cells even more resistant to insulin, forcing your body to produce more and more of it. It is a biological death loop. So, what is the way out? We must consume specific foods that extinguish this internal fire, calm the inflammation, and effectively hack your insulin receptors back to their sensitive fat-burning state. Let us unlock those doors right now with our 5 nutritional signals. Signal number 1. Activating your master metabolic switch with apple cider vinegar. You have probably heard of it as a popular weight loss trend, but the science behind it is purely biological, not magic. It all comes down to a specific compound called acetic acid. When you consume this, it goes straight to work, directly activating an enzyme in your body known as AMPK. Think of AMPK as your cellular master switch. When it is flipped on, it sends a powerful overriding command to your system. Stop storing fat immediately and start burning free fatty acids for fuel. But it does something else just as important. It acts as a biological roadblock in your stomach, drastically slowing down the rate at which carbohydrates are broken down into sugar. This effectively blunts the massive glucose spike that usually follows a heavy meal. Here is exactly how to use this tool. Take 1 single tablespoon, which is about 15 milliliters, of organic apple cider vinegar. Make sure it is the raw kind that contains the mother. Mix it thoroughly into a tall glass containing about 250 milliliters of filtered water. You need to drink this mixture 15 to 20 minutes before your largest meal of the day. or right before a meal that is heavy in carbohydrates. Doing this simple step can prevent your blood sugar from spiking by up to 30%. However, listen to this crucial warning for your safety. Always, always drink this through a straw to protect your tooth enamel from the acidity, and absolutely never drink it undiluted. Signal number 2. Sweeping out a fatty liver with cruciferous vegetables. Here is a biological truth you need to hear. Visceral fat never works alone. It almost always brings a partner in crime, which is a fatty liver. Think of your liver as the engine of your metabolism. If that engine is clogged with toxic fat, burning belly fat is biologically impossible. This is where vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower come in. They contain a massive amount of a compound called glucoraphanin. But here is the fascinating part. The magic only happens when you actually chew them. The physical crushing of the plant cells mixes specific enzymes together, converting that glucoraphanin into a powerful compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane acts as a heavy-duty repair crew, actively healing and detoxifying your damaged liver cells. These vegetables also contain another secret weapon, known as DIM. In our modern world, we are constantly exposed to environmental chemicals that mimic estrogen. This bad estrogen is exactly what causes men to accumulate chest fat, and women to develop that stubborn pouch of fat on their lower belly. DIM acts like a biological broom, safely sweeping this toxic estrogen right out of your system. To get these benefits, you need to add 1 to 2 small bowls of broccoli or cabbage to your daily meals. The absolute best way to prepare them is to lightly steam them. Do not boil them to death. If you overcook them, you will destroy the crucial myrosinase enzyme that makes this whole chemical conversion work. Adding this to your routine will help visibly shrink your lower belly. However, there is a very important safety warning. If you suffer from a thyroid issue, such as hypothyroidism, you must ignore the light steaming rule and make sure these vegetables are cooked completely through. Cooking them fully deactivates natural compounds called goitrogens, ensuring your thyroid function remains perfectly safe. Signal number 3. Extinguishing the internal fire with omega-3 from fatty fish. Earlier, we talked about how visceral fat produces toxic chemicals. I want you to imagine your internal organs are literally smoldering in a low-grade fire. This chronic inflammation is exactly what makes the outer layer of your cells stiff, inflamed, and highly resistant to insulin. Enter the essential fatty acids, EPA and DHA. You can find massive amounts of these in salmon, herring, and sardines. Think of these omega-3 fats as your body's elite biological firefighters. When you consume them, they go to work physically repairing and rebuilding the damaged membranes of your muscle cells. Scientific studies show that repairing this membrane makes your insulin receptors highly sensitive again. Because of this, the next time you eat, the sugar in your blood is pulled directly into your muscles to be burned as explosive energy. It completely bypasses your liver, stopping it from being packed away as more visceral fat. To make this biological shift happen, you need to eat at least 2 to 3 servings of wild-caught fatty fish every single week. If cooking fish that often is not an option for you, you can use a high-quality supplement like fish oil or krill oil. But listen closely. You must read the label and ensure the EPA number is significantly higher than the DHA number. That is where the real anti-inflammatory power lies. Doing this will dramatically improve your heart health and crush your insulin resistance. But you must heed this critical warning. If you open a bottle of fish oil capsules and it has a strong, nasty, rotting fish smell, throw the entire bottle in the trash immediately. That harsh smell means the delicate oil has oxidized. Swallowing rancid, oxidized oil will literally pour gasoline on your internal fire, causing the exact inflammation we are trying to eliminate. Signal number 4. Commanding the satiety hormone, GLP-1, using avocados and olive oil. Earlier, we fixed your cell membranes so they can receive energy. Now, we need to stop your cravings dead in their tracks while keeping your insulin at absolute rock bottom. If you want to burn visceral fat, your insulin must stay flat. This is where the monounsaturated fats found in whole avocados and cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil come into play. This specific fat, known as oleic acid, has a biological superpower. It provokes absolutely zero insulin response from your pancreas. But it gets even better. When this high-quality fat travels down and touches the lining of your small intestine, it triggers the massive release of a hormone called GLP-1. If that hormone sounds familiar, it is because the most expensive and famous weight loss injections on the market today are literally designed to mimic this exact chemical. They artificially force your body to feel full. But you do not need a synthetic injection. You can trigger this intense, long-lasting feeling of fullness completely naturally. To do this, simply slice half of an avocado into your lunch, or drizzle 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil over a large bowl of greens. This habit will deeply protect your heart and give you incredibly stable energy throughout the afternoon. But you must listen to this warning. Even though this is the healthiest fat on earth, it is still very dense in energy. You must strictly control your portion to just half an avocado, or a maximum of 2 tablespoons of oil per meal. If you pour half a bottle of oil onto your food, you will easily consume way too much energy, completely defeating the purpose of burning your stored fat. Signal number 5. Rebuilding your internal ecosystem with fermented foods. We just talked about stopping your cravings. But what happens to the food you actually do eat? Did you know that the microscopic bacteria living inside your gut dictate exactly how many calories your body absorbs? The gut microbiome of someone carrying heavy visceral fat looks completely different from someone who is naturally lean. If you have a massive amount of stubborn belly fat, your gut is likely dominated by a type of bacteria called firmicutes. You can think of these as microscopic scavengers. They are entirely too good at their job. They literally extract every single hidden calorie from the food passing through your system and shove it straight into your visceral fat stores. Meanwhile, you are severely lacking the good bacteria that naturally keep people thin, known as Bacteroidetes. This is where fermented foods step in to save your metabolism. Natural, unpasteurized fermented foods deliver billions of living allies directly into your digestive tract. Specifically, we are talking about lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. These living soldiers do 3 incredible things. They fight off the bad bacteria to restore balance. They help seal up a damaged, leaky gut. And most importantly, they send a calming signal straight up your vagus nerve to your brain, which actively lowers your overall cortisol levels. Remember cortisol, that fat-storing stress hormone we talked about at the very beginning? This is how you lower it from the inside out. To implement this signal, you only need 1 to 2 tablespoons of real, living kimchi or sauerkraut, or a single glass of plain, unsweetened kefir every single day. Doing this will eventually eliminate your chronic bloating and completely optimize how you absorb nutrients. But you must pay close attention to this warning. If your gut is completely unaccustomed to fermented foods, you must start very small. Introduce just 1 single teaspoon a day. If you eat a massive amount right away, the sudden biological war in your stomach as your microbiome reorganizes will cause intense gas and severe bloating. Be patient and give your body the time it needs to adjust. Now that you have all 5 biological keys, we cannot just leave them as isolated pieces of information. Let us combine them into a powerful, seamlessly integrated daily protocol. This is your new biological schedule to maximize the destruction of visceral fat. At 11:30 in the morning, or roughly 30 minutes before your first major meal, you begin. Take your tall glass of water mixed with 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This is your metabolic primer. It flips that AMPK switch into the on position and actively prepares your stomach to break down whatever you are about to eat, ensuring a perfectly stable blood sugar response. At 12 noon, it is time to eat. Create a massive bowl of fresh greens and pour 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil right over the top. Add a small, powerful side of living kimchi. This combination is incredibly strategic. The olive oil triggers the GLP-1 satiety hormone to kill your cravings, while the kimchi deploys those fat-fighting soldiers directly into your gut. You will feel completely full for the rest of the afternoon, yet your insulin will remain perfectly flat. Fast forward to 6:30 in the evening for your dinner. This final meal is dedicated purely to reducing inflammation and repairing your liver. You will have a piece of wild-caught salmon, packed with those elite firefighter omega-3 fats. Pair this with a generous side of lightly steamed broccoli. By eating this specific combination at night, the sulforaphane and DIM from the broccoli will actively sweep out toxic estrogen and detoxify your fatty liver while you sleep. Your body will literally heal and prepare for another aggressive day of fat burning tomorrow. As you can see, food is not just calories. Food is biological information. It is a set of instructions that you send directly to your cells every single time you take a bite. Instead of punishing yourself with exhausting crash diets or doing hundreds of useless crunches on the floor, it is time to start sending your body the right instructions. When you give your system the correct signals, it will automatically unlock and release that toxic visceral fat. Understanding how your biology actually works is the only true key to lasting health and a body you feel proud of. So, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 biological keys are you going to implement tomorrow morning? Drop a comment below right now. Tell me your age and the one daily habit you are fully committed to changing. If this video completely changed the way you look at your body, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications so you never miss the next scientific truth about your metabolism. I will see you in the next video.